it's an example of far left woke advertising, and I don't think it's going to do any good for Boots at all. I think it's going to backfire significantly, and already you're seeing quite a lot of people boycotting Boots as a result of this, and they've only themselves to blame.
Breaking right now, growing outrage and a boycott over the pharmacy Boots and their Christmas commercial, given that they decided to hire the actress who thinks that the Buckingham Palace balcony on the day of King Charles's coronation is, quote, terribly white. You know who I'm talking about, don't you? Andoh Adjoa, who seems to despise the UK. But if you missed the comment that I'm talking about, here's what she had to say.
Gone from the rich diversity of the Abbey to a terribly white balcony. I'm very struck by that. I'm also looking at those younger generations and thinking, what are the nuances that they will inhabit as they grow?
Terribly white, terribly white. As Peter Lloyd posted on X, there are 60,000 actors in the UK, yet Boots chose to hire Andoh Adjoa for their Christmas ad. Last year, Andoh trashed the royal family as terribly white during the King's coronation. Her casting sends a clear and deliberate message to white Britons. Now, that may be the case, but what I'm particularly interested in is the message behind the Boots Christmas ad. You don't really see Father Christmas. But we do make it an assumption, don't we, these days, that Father Christmas remains an old white man. We also know that in the woke world of commercialism and advertising, that old white men are the enemy. So, of course, Boots, led by Andoh Adjoa, decide to make the point that actually it's not Father Christmas, the old white man, who is a hero. It's all the people doing the work behind the scenes. Watch.
We are never out of bones. Last one. You thought it was all him.
Oh, we know what you're doing, Boots. The great Nile Gardiner from the Heritage Foundation joins me now. Nile, look, The problem is, right, Boots know what they're doing and they clearly consider themselves to be too big to fail. It doesn't matter that they are annoying or making a judgment about 80% of their customers. But don't you think this becomes quite toxic when big high street brands keep on pumping these woke messages into their Christmas commercials, which, let's be honest, are meant to be positive, are meant to make us feel good about ourselves?
Dan, great to see you. Thanks very much for having me on the show today. A real pleasure to be here. And I was just watching actually that Boots commercial, and I have to say it was really ghastly, woke stuff, and very divisive. Really, it's a very, very politically charged message using all sorts of woke language. There's a strong transgender element to the to the video.
Ticks every box.
It's a political it's a political message board, really. And why is Boots engaging in this, actually? And I think that it really, frankly, undermines Boots when they engage in what is really political activism, Dan. That's what it is, actually. And I don't see how this advert actually can appeal to the vast majority of the British people. And it's an example of far left woke advertising, and I don't think it's going to do any good for Boots at all. I think it's going to backfire significantly, and already you're seeing quite a lot of people boycotting Boots as a result of this, and they've only themselves to blame for going down this route. And you see this here in America, where many companies, Budweiser is a good example, who've gone down the woke
Dylan
path,
Mulvaney,
and they've alienated huge numbers of their own customers who've had enough, frankly, and they've lost a lot of revenue as a result. This could well happen to Boots also.
The thing is, Alex Phillips was on the show earlier this week, Niall, and she said that not only could an ad like this end up being suicidal for a company like Boots, the bigger point and the societal point and the point that she is concerned about is that actually what ends up happening is that division is spread. So these woke advertising agencies might think they're doing the right thing, might think that they are being inclusive, might think that DEI is a positive message, but actually what you're starting to do is drum up a sense of resentment that never used to be there.
Yeah, exactly. And Alex, of course, is spot on, and she's brilliant as always. You know, I do find this whole DEI approach taken by big corporations as very dangerous, and there's a huge backlash against it here in the United States. Donald Trump, the next president, is campaigning actively against DEI, and it does create, frankly, a lot of division. And I think that those responsible for advertisements like this are tone deaf to public opinion, to what the vast majority of in this case, British people think. And DEI, which is a political left-wing ideology, should have no place in advertising. And this is all about, it's about politics. It's about enforcing a left-wing ideology and mentality on both sides of the Atlantic, Dan. We see that here in the US all the time. But fortunately, there's a big fight back against this in the United States. Donald Trump is leading the charge against it in America, and I hope that the Conservatives in the UK will fight against this as well, because this isn't good for Britain. This politically divisive messaging being put into Christmas advertisements of all things. Why not bring people together instead of dividing the British people and advancing what is a very extreme far left ideological message as well, and using pronouns, for example, advancing the transgender agenda, and which the vast majority of the British people really are frankly opposed to, in my view. And I think that this is dangerous stuff. It's poisonous, actually. My former boss, Margaret Thatcher, would have condemned all this, and she would have really strongly fought against it, as she did when British Airways went woke back in the day, when Margaret Thatcher was very unimpressed actually with the rebranding of British Airways.
They called it back then, right?
And they went back. BA went back, of course, to to their traditional branding after Lady Thatcher took out her handbag and and whack them with it, basically. So
God, we need her in the UK right now.
Exactly. So Boots should go back to being traditional.
Yeah.
And celebrate the traditions of Christmas instead of woke political advertising.
It is interesting, though, the fact that you link what's going on in America, because the election has been taken in some quarters, Niall, to be a complete vilification of woke. And I want to show you this series of posts on X that came after Donald Trump Jr. posted, "Woke is dead. Don't let it rear its ugly head ever again. It's over." But what was interesting is Elon Musk, and I think this is a bit more where I'm at, Niall. Elon Musk replied, "Still much work to do, but the tide of the battle has turned." And that's the point, isn't it? Because it doesn't just end, because we still have this crazy socialist government ruling over us, smashing free speech here in the UK. We still have completely mad advertising agencies pushing their social engineering messages, even in Christmas commercials. So yes, the election of Trump, oh my goodness, I mean, I celebrate it. I'm absolutely delighted. But the fight against wokery does go on. But first, we've partnered with Gundry MD to share this information with you. Would you believe me if I told you inside your pantry right now is one of the healthiest foods on the planet? Yep, it's true. And don't worry, it's not some weird, trendy superfood. Spoiler alert, it's olive oil. You're probably used to cooking with it, but there are countless ways to use olive oil to help yourself look and feel younger. For example, olive oil is a natural way to help you achieve a more youthful appearance. Besides helping you look younger on the outside, it's a fantastic tool for your insides as well. According to Dr. Stephen Gundry, a famous cardiothoracic surgeon, nutrition expert, and health advocate, you should get as much high quality olive oil into your daily routine as possible, whether it's taking a shot of it daily or keeping a bottle of it in your bathroom medicine cabinet. But what kind of olive oil is best for your health? Well, any olive oil can give you some benefits, but if you're looking to get the best results, it matters a lot which one you pick. The olive oil industry is huge. You can tell by the number of olive oil brands you'll see at your grocery store, and you can bet they're not all made with the consumer in mind. And many brands may even cut corners one way or another to increase profits. When Dr. Gundry came to this realization, he was appalled. But some olive oils, are so powerful, it may only take a few tablespoons a week to see these incredible health benefits. So how can you tell between an olive oil that can be a health booster and one which isn't up to par? In an effort to answer that question, Dr. Gundry has decided to take a stand and release his personal research and findings. This video has gone viral since its release, and it's important you see it so you can start benefiting immediately. You can watch the video right now by going to getolive1.com/outspoken or by clicking in the link in the description box below. That's getolive1.com/outspoken, or just click on the link in the description box below. People who have taken his advice have shared their results with him, saying the olive oil they bought after learning his simple rules have helped change their lives. So make sure you go to getolive1.com/outspoken or click on the link in the description box below this video.
Yeah, exactly. It's an ongoing battle, and I think Donald Trump's leadership on this is outstanding. But as Elon Musk points out, this is a battle that we're engaged in right now, and we've got to win it. Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, has also been at the front lines of fighting against woke ideology. And now you have Elon Musk actually being brought into the U.S. Administration, a fantastic appointment. And so you have people who believe in freedom, who are fighting against this far left, nefarious, ultra woke agenda here in the United States. But in the UK, of course, you've got a government, a Labour government, a socialist government that actually embraces wokeism. And so you've got the far left in power in the UK who have bought into woke ideology, and they don't care about the vast majority of British people who want to have none of this. Wokeism is so fundamentally dangerous, I think, to the future of Britain.
But Niall, what's so extraordinary?
We've got to fight against it and defeat it, Dan. Absolutely,
well, no, we do.
100%.
Because they care about it more than they actually care about profits. I mean, that's what I find so extraordinary. Do not tell me that ad has got any extra customers to Boots this Christmas. Actually, quite the opposite. I think they will survive because you know what their foothold is in the UK, but it won't have garnered them any extra customers, but they care more about pushing their toxic ideology even than profits. And actually, that's why I agree with Ayaan Hirsi Ali, who was on Outspoken a couple of weeks ago and said she now believes that woke is the most dangerous ideology in the world because it's all about undermining the West.
Yeah, exactly. And she's absolutely right. I mean, wokeism is insidious. It really rots the West from the inside out. And the wokeists, of course, have joined forces with the Islamists as well. And this is the interesting thing here, is that you've got an alliance between the woke left and the Islamist extremists. And you see that actually in London, for example, with the kind of left-wing administration that you see in the city there. But you see it in the United States also. And it is such a monumental threat to the future of the West. And the wokeists hate everything that Western civilization stands for. They hate the history of our great countries, of the United States and the United Kingdom. They hate everything that these two great nations stand for. They want to tear down, of course, the statue of Winston Churchill. They want to tear down everything that's great about Britain, frankly. And their agenda is nefarious. and it is a huge threat to the future of the United Kingdom, the United States, and the entire free world. I mean, wokeness is spread all over Europe, across the Western world. Canada has basically surrendered to wokeness under Justin Trudeau. I mean, it's a basket case of wokeness, frankly, in Canada right now, and under the far left government there. And conservatives are fighting back to really to liberate their own country from left wing control. What's happening in the UK right now, Dan? I'm very worried on so many fronts. People being arrested for their tweets.
Oh,
Telegraph journalist Alison Pearson being interrogated by the police over a tweet a year ago. This is Orwellian. It's 1984 all over. Again, Frank, it's Orwell's nightmare vision. Now in reality, and it's so dangerous. We've got to fight against this, Dan. We have to fight tooth and nail against the suppression of freedom of speech. And this is woke ideology, basically, that is taking over, and it's in power in Britain right now. It's been in power in the United States the last 4 years. Thankfully, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris are packing their bags shortly, and America's being liberated from woke tyranny. Thank God for that.
yes.
And
I know.
let's hope that the UK
no,
gets
things are bad
liberated
here.
in the next few years.
Things are really bad here, and we're going to have to fight it in lots of ways. And actually, it is worth people checking out my interview with Alison Pearson. She has spoken about the absolute horror of having 2 police officers turn up at her Essex house. There is still a police investigation ongoing. I mean, she's joking in the interview about the fact she might soon be a jailbird. This is one of our best columnists who's been put through this. It's really,
shocking, Dan.
really concerning.
Shocking.
Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.